Hello, my name is Scott Oberg. Today what I'm going to do is walk you through the virtual Kanban report that is sent out to suppliers on a weekly basis. I'll do my best to try to explain it from left to right, all of the columns and their meanings in each one of the columns. This is a generic report, and what we intend to do today is just to demonstrate the use and the functionality of the virtual Kanban, or VKB. Beginning in column A, you have your vendor number. Column B is the specific part numbers that will be listed underneath your specific report. Column C is the description of the parts as they're set up in our system and as you would be seeing them on your purchase order. Column D is the item type. Item types will range from item type 7s to Vs, meaning VMI, to Cs, being consignment. Column E is the quantity on hand. The purpose of this column is to demonstrate what is physically on our shelf at the time that this report was generated. As you can see on this report, the second line, the first and second line, is showing we have 0 of this particular volute weldment, or we have 19 of this particular brace. This is, again, the amount of stock that we have on our shelf at the time that this report was run. Column F is labeled total allocations. Total allocations represents the number of customer orders that we have in place. You can easily look at this as the amount of orders that we will be shipping within lead time of your parts. Column G is average weekly demand. This is to be used as an indicator, a rough indicator of the direction that the usage is going, whether it's going up or whether it's going down. But since it's an average, it could give some misleading information because it's looking back over the last 52 weeks and saying what is the average consumption smoothed out on a weekly basis. In column H, this column is stating it's a 3-month forecast. What it's doing is it's multiplying the weekly average times 3 months of presumed usage to allow you, the supplier, to have a rough understanding of what we will be needing and requiring from you in the next 3 months to help you with production scheduling and line leveling. Column I is open PO. This is showing whether there has been a PO placed by a buyer planner here from our plant to your facility. As you can see, this is telling you that open POs, yes, you should have a PO that has been submitted by one of our planners to your business. Column J indicates what is left on hand. And what it is a calculation looking at quantity on hand and then subtracting the number of allocations that we have left over. And in this case, you can see for this first line, there is 0 quantity on hand. We have customer requirements, or total allocations, of 48. So we technically have 48, or a negative 48 on the shelf, because all of this material is for customer orders and it's being consumed. For this example, we have 19 on hand. We have 144 allocations. So we have some material that we can supply, but 19 subtracting 144 says that we are still deficient 125 pieces. And that's the way that this calculation works all the way down the page. Column K, Kanban, this is an internal field for us, so you don't need to worry about this. Kanban Min, Kanban Max. These two columns represent what we are looking to have you help us maintain here at our plant to maintain a 98% delivery performance to our end customers. We are stating that if we manage a stocking level of at least 84 and no more than 160, for using this first example, we should be able to hit our customer requirements 98% of the time. Priority is listed in column N, is a quick indicator listing it as 1s or 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s to represent what sequence you should be looking at these parts. A priority 1 is when we have insufficient quantity on hand to meet current customer orders. And as you can see, a priority 1 is the first thing you should look at. It's telling you we are short 48 pieces to fulfill an order. So we have a customer who is screaming to have their parts. A priority 2 indicates that we have sufficient stock on hand to meet current orders, but that is all that we have. A priority 3 is indicating we are below our min and we have, let me move this up a little bit. A priority 3 is showing that we have stock on hand of 62, but we have insufficient to maintain our min or max stocking level. We are below our min stocking level. A priority 4 indicates I have the material that is just above my min, and in this example 39, but I'm below my max. And then a priority 5, you probably are starting to see the trend, is indicating that, in this example, I have 28 pieces, I am above my max. So if you think about it, a priority 1 is negative inventory. A priority 2 is I've been able to fulfill all of my requirements, but I have nothing left on the shelf. A priority 3 is that I'm below my minimum stocking level. A priority 4 is that I am above my min stocking level, but below my max stocking level. And then a priority 5 is I am above my max stocking level. So column O, the next column to the right, is in transit. This column represents what is currently on open purchase orders and yet to be received at our facility. The way to look at this is your team should have received a purchase order, and in this case for 204 pieces, and whether it's in production or it's in transit, it has not been received by our facility, but we have a purchase order out to you that we are expecting this quantity. Max run quantity is the next column over to the right, which indicates the additional material that can still be received. If you have the 204 pieces still at your facility, you can increase that quantity by another 4 pieces to help us get to our max stocking level. So in this case, where we have 0 on hand, 48 negative, we're trying to maintain 160. If you take the 204 and you subtract out the requirements for 48, you add the 4 pieces, that will leave you with 160. So again, the purpose of this is to try to get us as close to our max as possible. The 204 plus the 4 is 208, less your requirements will leave us 160 pieces. The colors to the right are a visual representation of how we are consuming the material. And as you can see, material is being indicated by these X's in these boxes. As you consume material, we will be showing you in a weekly report your approach towards the red. The red is lead time. This is the period of time where we need to make sure that your production line has this material and that you are getting ready to provide to us. And in some of these instances, you can see that we're clearly into the red, and we need to make sure that these 90 pieces have left your facility, because again, this red time is lead time. And each one of these boxes indicate a week. So we need to make sure that you are maintaining your current lead times, because the calculation is based off of the lead time in our system. This report can be set up to be sent to you weekly, but as you can see, there's a lot of parts for some suppliers to go through, and we want to make this easier. And so what we have done is we have listed these priorities and helped you to focus on those that need to be addressed first. Currently, there are numerous parts in this field, but if we focus on just the priority ones and priority twos, again, those that I have insufficient to fill current customer orders, or I have just enough but leaves me zero on the shelf, your long list of 300 parts becomes a more manageable list of less than 20. And these are what we want to try to portray to you as our supplier, to say which you should be focusing on first. So in summary, you have the part numbers, the descriptions. You are able to see what we currently have on our shelf. You're currently able to see the current customer orders. You are able to look at the demand, the average weekly demand, and then that is multiplied out to give you a rough estimate of what a 3-month horizon forecast would look like. Help you to understand if there's a PO that you should have received, and if you have not received it, you will see a no, like this down here on this line. There's been no purchase order received. And if you follow that line over, you can see that there's nothing in transit. But there is a requirement for 43. So it becomes a quick report to be able to figure out if you have been notified and are aware of the current requirements that we need. This is saying we'd be willing to take 43 right now. You don't need to wait. You don't need to hold off. You need to contact our buyer to say that you have this material available in this field and you are prepared to ship. Please provide us a purchase order. Our buyer planner will cut you a purchase order for the requirement for the quantity you have available, send it to you, and you are authorized to ship. So in summary, this virtual Kanban report should be a great tool that could be emailed out weekly to enable you to load your production lines, to optimize your business, to give you visibility of what is on order, what could be added to those orders, and the total amount of what we're saying that we'd be willing to accept. All of these together should bring greater value to your business as well as ours of trying to provide a clear picture of the true requirements. This would also enable you to see parts that might be slowing down, and you will see that there's no need to replenish a certain part because volume is going down. You don't need to wait for an update. You will see, based on the average weekly demand or the 3-month forecast, that volume is dropping down. Or you can come back and see that we have sufficient quantity on hand and won't be placing a purchase order for some period of time. So if you have any questions, please contact your local planner, buyer at your site, and they'd be happy to walk you through that. Thank you.